All right, let's get into it. We're about to unpack a story that is just peak modern finance. It's wild, it's kind of bizarre, and it's all about Pepe coin. Yeah, the billion-dollar frog joke.
And this whole thing really boils down to one central question, right? How on earth can an internet joke, a cartoon frog, be worth billions of dollars? I mean, that's more than a lot of real established companies. It doesn't seem to make any sense.
So if we're going to try and wrap our heads around this modern paradox, there's really no better example to look at than Pepe coin, PEPE. It is the absolute perfect storm of crypto culture, social media madness, and some seriously high-stakes betting.
Okay, first things first, let's just take a moment to really grasp the incredible scale we're dealing with here.
Yep, you're seeing that right. At its height, the total value of all the Pepe coins out there, what we call the market cap, hit several billion dollars. Billions, with a B, for a digital coin based on a frog meme. Just let that sink in.
So what exactly is this thing? I mean, to justify that kind of price tag, you'd think there has to be some kind of product, right? Well, that's where it gets interesting.
So, on a technical level, Pepe is what's known as a meme coin. It popped up in April 2023. It's an ERC20 token, which is just a fancy way of saying it's built on the Ethereum blockchain. Think of it like a super common template that lets pretty much anyone create their own crypto coin really easily. And of course, its whole identity, its whole reason for being, is inspired by the famous and sometimes controversial Pepe the Frog meme. But here's what truly sets Pepe apart, and you got to pay attention to this. Unlike a stock, which gives you a piece of a company, or even other cryptos that are designed to power some application, Pepe was launched with no real utility. It's not for anything. Its one and only job is to be a purely speculative thing to trade, with its value totally driven by its community and, whatever's going viral that day.
And that whole vibe, that culture, it's baked right into its DNA. I mean, just look at the total supply of coins, 420.69 trillion. Come on, those numbers, 420 and 69, are obviously not an accident. It's a very deliberate wink and a nod to internet meme culture. It's basically screaming to its audience, hey, we're in on the joke. Okay, so no utility, no real product. Where in the world does that billion-dollar price tag come from? The answer is actually pretty simple, but it's also incredibly dangerous. It's just hype. Think about it like this. Traditional assets, like stocks, get their value from real-world stuff. Revenue, technology, fundamentals. Pepe coin? It's playing in a completely different ballpark. Its value comes from things like social media buzz, how strong the online community feels, viral memes, and maybe the most powerful force in all of crypto, FOMO. That's the fear of missing out. People see the price go parabolic and they pile in, which just pushes the price higher. It's this self-feeding loop, all driven by the fear of being the one who missed the rocket ship. And this hype gets cranked up to 11 by some absolutely audacious predictions. For instance, one pretty well-known crypto trader threw out this idea that Pepe could hit a market cap of, wait for it, $69 billion. It's a wild, almost ridiculous number, right? But here's the crazy part. That single prediction, once it started spreading like wildfire on social media, triggered a 20% rally in the price. That's a perfect example of a self-fulfilling prophecy in action. The belief that it might become valuable is the very thing that makes it valuable, at least for a little while.
But, as you can probably guess, a market that's built entirely on jokes and hype has a very, very serious downside. Let's talk about the dangers here, because they are real.
And here's what that danger looks like in the real world. At one point, Pepe's price shot up over 50% in just 1 week. But here's the rule of thumb in these markets. What goes up that fast can, and usually does, come crashing down just as hard. This is what we mean by extreme volatility. Yeah, some people might get rich quick, but a whole lot of people can lose everything even faster. And if you stack Pepe up against its main rivals in the meme coin space, its biggest weakness becomes crystal clear. You've got Dogecoin, the OG, which has actually been adopted for some payments here and there. Then there's Shiba Inu, which is at least trying to build a whole ecosystem around its coin. And then there's Pepe. It's got nothing like that. No utility. Its entire existence hinges on one thing: staying relevant and keeping that hype train rolling.
So the key takeaway here is that the risks aren't just a side effect, they're baked right into the design. This insane volatility, that's a feature, not a bug. There are no fundamentals, nothing solid to anchor the price. Its value is completely tied to the whims of internet culture, and we all know how fast that changes. When the hive mind moves on to the next big thing, All that money can just vanish, literally overnight.
So where does the billion-dollar frog go from here? What happens next? Well, based on everything we've talked about, there are really a few ways this could play out.
Okay, so let's game this out. Scenario 1, the optimistic take. The meme proves to have staying power. Pepe stays culturally relevant and becomes a favorite playground for speculative traders. Then you have the neutral path. The coin just keeps doing what it's doing, these crazy cycles of huge pumps and massive dumps, but it sticks around as a popular asset in the crypto casino. And then there's the ugly scenario. The hype just fizzles out. A market down hits, people lose interest, and Pepe becomes a forgotten ghost of a very weird time in finance. A classic cautionary tale. And that really brings us to the big, final question that the whole Pepe coin saga leaves us with. It's both fascinating and kind of unsettling, isn't it? When an internet joke is worth billions, when attention itself can be turned into currency, and a shared belief can create fortunes out of thin air, what does value even mean anymore?